Well, there is new controversy today over some remarks the president made at Loyola University back in 1998. First, we got a clip last week featuring the president arguing for, quote, redistributing the wealth. And later, we got more of the speech, putting that remark into context. Now we have what we're told is the entire thing. And in 3 minutes, we will bring you the exclusive reporting from the entity that got its hands on the full tape. We'll tell you what it says about the president's thinking on the economy and the government when Lou Dobbs joins us after our live report to react.
I think the trick is figuring out how do we structure government systems that pool resources and hence facilitate some redistribution, because I actually believe in redistribution, at least at a certain level, to make sure that everybody's got a shot.
Well, that 18-second remark got a lot of attention last week in some circles. It is from a recording that surfaced of then Illinois State Senator Barack Obama in a 1998 speech at Loyola University, outlining his views of government and the economy. Well, the next day, NBC News said that Republicans had taken the remarks out of context and aired what the network considered the relevant remarks from the recording. 35 seconds that the news organization said demonstrated the future president only seemed to support the redistribution of wealth. And now a third version of the remarks has surfaced. It is nearly 2 hours long. The Daily Caller website says it has obtained the entire recording and says it is very revealing. Joining me now, Charles C. Johnson. He's a contributor to thedailycaller.com and the one who obtained the recording. Also with me is Lou Dobbs, host of Lou Dobbs Tonight on Fox Business Channel and a syndicated radio host. So Lou will react to a moment. But I want to ask Charles first. Charles, I know you're 23 years old. You're a young guy. How did you get your hands on this full recording, and did you listen to it personally?
Yes, so I listened to it in its entirety. I had known that the tape existed, and with the help of the editors of the Daily Caller, we tracked it down to Loyola, and I sent a source in to have a look, and then I sent another source to make sure that we could get the video.
Okay, and so have you personally listened to it, or you just heard from the sources?
Yes, I've listened to it in its entirety from beginning to end. Okay,
and I want to tell our viewers that you're a young guy, but you're an accomplished guy. You've won all sorts of awards for journalism at your young age, so I don't mean to belittle you by saying you're young and you're just 23 years old. All right, and so what are the highlights on here?
Well, the basic gist of it is that it's a bit like a Rosetta Stone between Obama in 1998 and Obama now. He makes all manner of comments about welfare policy, about gun control policy, about housing policy, all of which inform his views today. And that's why I found the tape so interesting.
He seems to make clear that he disagrees with the welfare reform that President Bill Clinton was responsible for.
That's right. He says in his own words that he would have voted against, or he probably would have voted against the federal welfare reform law. And that's in contrast to what he and some of his acolytes say today.
What else is on there? Is there some smoking gun in there that we need to know about?
Well, one of the bigger things is that he says very clearly that he believes that the American people do not support or support very strong gun control laws, and that they don't pass not because people don't support them, but they don't pass because their legislators are essentially beholden to the NRA.
And obviously, the president has claimed that he is pro-Second Amendment while he's been in office, and so that'll raise some questions, I guess, for some folks. Having listened to the whole thing, what impression did you walk away with? Just that this is somebody who, I mean, does it ideologically match up then to the president we have now?
I believe it does. I think what's interesting here is that we see Obama or we hear Obama as a community organizer. We hear Obama meeting and hanging out with other community organizers in and around Chicago. Remember, this is 1998. Obama had just recently been elected to the state Senate, and so he's still sort of wearing his community organizing hat. And we can get something of a sense of what he actually believes then, and it colors what he believes now.
Charles, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Lou Dobbs, I want to get your reaction. I mean, on the tape, he said to refer to the Republicans as bad guys. You know, he's referring to the opposition as bad guys. He rips on some of the favorite, boogeymen for some in the Democratic Party, right?
Right. And he is in the context, Megyn, of a group of what I would describe as socialists. They are certainly statist, and to put this in even broader context, imagine this: October of 1998. President Clinton is president of the United States. The economy is growing at a rate of almost 4% a year. Unemployment is at 4.6%. Things are good. Richard M. Daley is the mayor of Chicago. James Edgar, the governor of Illinois. Things are going the Democratic way in Illinois, in Chicago, and still there is this meeting of what are obviously frustrated statists who really have no specific agenda but other than these broad concepts, including a redistribution. The president was exactly wrong. There wasn't a majority that was supporting in any way gun control in the country. He was talking about welfare reform in a way in which, as you telescope to the present, you think about what he has done with welfare reform work requirements. First, in 2010, with Obamacare, he eliminates a level of work requirements for welfare reform. Now, HHS doing precisely the same thing, although they deny it. It is really extraordinary to see that telescoping of this young state senator only 8 years ago, 10 years ago rather, moving ahead to now, where he is following the same policies. He is living the dream, and it wasn't his father's dream.
Math is not my strong suit, but isn't it 14 years ago? Wasn't it 1998?
Well, I was going to 2004,
okay.
1996, and 1998.
And I should say another number
By the way,
for you.
I'm just as confused about
another
that
number for you. 102 minutes, apparently, that's how long it is, and Lou has listened to it, so he knows of what he speaks. I want to get a quick clip in. This is the future president talking about the working poor in Chicago and welfare recipients who might become a majority coalition that could be leveraged politically. Listen.
What I think will re-engage people in politics is if we're doing significant, serious policy work around what I will label the working poor, although my definition of the working poor is not simply folks making minimum wage, but it's also families of four who are making $30,000 a year. They are struggling. And to the extent that we are doing research figuring out what kinds of government action would successfully make their lives better, we are then putting together a potential majority coalition to move those agendas forward.
Think about it. By 2004, this then state senator is at the Democratic National Convention talking about there are no red states, no blue states, there's just the United States. This is absolutely class warfare. It is a manifesto from which he is reading, and it makes clear why he does not like welfare reform as put together under President Clinton. It would destroy the coalition that he now has created.
Lou, thank you very much. We'll be right back.